The dilemma is that since we separated, he has thrived. 2 years ago, I ended my marriage. Nobody did anything wrong. It just fizzled out. And I thought life would be better and easier alone. The split was amicable and he's a great dad to our son.
That's nice.
The dilemma is that since we separated, he has thrived. He's lost loads of weight, he's got new friends, and he seems happier, healthier, and in a better mood than when we were married. My son tells me about his travels and the new hobbies that he has. I haven't really moved on since the split. Everything is exactly the same. I just now don't have a husband, and all the jobs are on me. I basically feel as unhappy as I did before I instigated the separation. I feel like maybe I got it wrong, and maybe the issue was me and not the marriage itself. I created this mess and now I don't know how to move on. I mean, that sounds really fucking hard.
As Christians say, may God rebuke the devil. Don't let that woman back into that man's life. Because if someone leaves you and your life starts getting better, more money, more nights out, more friends, you're in better shape and life is finally smiling on you. Don't ever let that bad luck back into your life. A lot of men don't notice this, but if you have a great life, get involved with someone, and suddenly everything starts going wrong, leave that person. Some women ruin great men with their constant negativity and endless complaints. There's always some kind of problem. That's why they say the best revenge is living an amazing life. Look how staying calm paid off for him. I love happy endings. Today we'll look at women who instantly regret walking away from their marriage once they see their ex-husband move on. Before we get started, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That's what keeps this channel going. Let's get started.
Why is it that when you and your ex break up, them motherfuckers be getting everything? Like, they be just elevating, like life they just elevating life. Like, I'm talking about they just got accepted and got a master's program. They about to get their doctorate. They got a new car. They got a new house or apartment. It's just like, it's like, when you leave somebody, it's like they elevate even more. Like, it's like, dang, why you ain't have all this stuff when we was together? Like, they just upgrade you, like Beyonce said, let me upgrade you. They just, like, what?
About women complaining when their exes move on too quickly. So women really can't take L's in dating or relationships. We initiate 70 to 80% of divorces and breakups, and we have the nerve to complain when a man moves on too quickly. There's no satisfying us ladies, you know. Hear me out and hear me well. If a man makes good money, is decent looking, and has a good job, and you break up with him, there will be other women that will take him. Let's look at some women that are upset that their exes moved on too quickly.
Let's talk about when your ex moves on way too quickly after a breakup. It wasn't just that he moved on so quickly, it was that he cheated on me and I was still willing to take him back. Like, I was desperately in love. I was all in. But he cheated on me and he left me for her, and I watched their entire relationship play out on social media. And of all the defining moments in my life, I think this was the most significant because of the internal damage it did. And I can't really say that he was the one that caused that damage. I kind of did it to myself because I did what so many of us do. The story or the meaning I ascribed to that event was, this happened because I'm unworthy.
I probably did. It probably did. You know, men get dumped and they think, you know, this probably happened because the other guy was better. And they'll improve. Like, they'll hit the gym. They'll do all this stuff. Women, it's like we never... And I know it's hypocritical. I'm kind of dressed homeless today, but she's dressed like a grandma. You know, it's like we never say, let's try to improve, right? It's always... No, that didn't happen because I'm deficient. Let's go to therapy. There's never anything like that.
Do you know why she regrets it? Because you didn't cry. You didn't apologize. You didn't beg like a simp. You didn't do any of that. Instead, you improved your life. Everything in life is energy. Hate is energy. Pain is energy. Love is energy. You only have one job: to learn how to channel that energy. If you do it right, it lifts you up. If you do it wrong, it destroys you. These men were already attractive. They already had their lives on the right track. They just made them even better. The idea that you'll never find another woman like her is nonsense. You got her in the first place, which means you have the qualities to find another woman just like her. That's why these men found someone else and improved their finances. They got rid of the woman who was holding them back, the one who made their lives a living hell. And the best part? It happened in time, because it's much worse when you have kids with them. Now, take a look at this next video.
I'll never forget this case. It was heartbreak. There was this I think he was 10-year-old little boy. And he used to say to his dad, when you drop me off after our visit, can we stop before we turn onto Mom's street? And I'll give you a hug and I'll tell you I love you. Because then when we get to the house, I'm going to get out of the car and yell that I hate you and I never want to see you again. And I'm going to run up to Mom's. Because this kid at 10 had figured out that if he let Mom know he loves Dad, that Mom would be mad at him and she would be cold to him. And he also knew that his father loved him so much that he could do that and yell at him and he would understand. And so they had this routine for 2 fucking years where they would pull up and get out of the car and he'd hug him and he'd tell him he loved him. And then he'd get back in the car and he'd pull up to the house and the kid would get out and slam the door and yell, I hate you, I never want to see you again, and run back up to Mom's, and Mom would shuffle him in, my poor baby. What do you think that does to a kid? What do you think that does? What effect do you think that has on a kid? How could you create conditions like that and claim you love that kid? But the problem is we have a system that is ill-equipped to deal with that.
So I recently found out that a guy I dated over a decade ago just got engaged. And I was filling my mom in.
She tells her mom, and then her mom is sad about it because she says that she had always hoped that they would eventually end up together. And this woman, her daughter, is married. She has a whole husband. That poor husband, your mother-in-law is not on your side. And for the daughter to not protect her husband over this and to actually blast it on social media is next level. I think that man deserves better.
Those are the kinds of things that destroy a man. Let's start with the mother. She's most likely the one who either filed for divorce or cheated. Women file for about 80% of divorces, but once things stop going their way and they see you thriving, they want to come back. And when you don't take them back, they start using your children to hurt you. They speak badly about you, tell the kids you don't love them, and do everything they can to keep you from seeing them. And is that really what's best for the child? Of course not. But the common line is, what's best for the mother is what's best for the child. That's why I don't believe that staying with the mother is always what's best for a child, because that kind of environment leaves scars on that poor kid. As for the mother-in-law, millions of men live like that, surrounded by a woman's family that never wanted them there, even after giving their daughters nothing but love and a good life. Yet they still hate them or make their lives miserable. That's why you so often see men start thriving after leaving the relationship. Nobody succeeds with that kind of negativity around them. Sooner or later, it tears you down.
I left my husband 5 months ago and I regret it. No, you're not supposed to say that. I know I'm supposed to be in my living my best life, hoe era, whatever, but no. These last 5 months have broken my spirit. They have been the hardest of my life. These last 5 months have required so much work, so much discipline to get back to myself. But it's supposed to suck. I talked to my friend last night about this on the phone and he really put it in perspective for me. Said the year you get a divorce was going to suck regardless. I question my decisions constantly. No matter what choice I made, I would have been miserable regardless. Life is not supposed to be happy and perfect all the time. Most growth comes from the times when we are having to do the work, having to sit in our misery, having to sit in the quiet. And that is exactly what I'm doing. 31 and I feel like I'm 18 again trying to navigate the world. Because you know what I regret more than leaving my husband? I regret having to get to that point anyway. I regret marrying the wrong person in the first place and not listening to my intuition. From my mistakes. So that you can learn from me being a dumbass because I feel dumb all the time. Of course, it's normal to have regret. I regret so many things in my life, but I can't let it ruin my life either. Never learn from things going right. We learn from them going wrong, and I'm holding on to that. I regret that I had to get to that point. I didn't want it to, but it happened, and we move on.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Nothing makes you want to heal faster than seeing your ex doing fine. They are doing fine, and you are a mess. Listen! What does healing actually look like? Does it look like getting into a new relationship? Is that the signal that, oh, they're healed, they're done, they're great, they got into a new relationship? Or is it going through the really painful period of self-discovery, really being cracked wide open and trying to understand what happened here? How did I contribute? How did they contribute? How can I heal myself enough that when I get into the new relationship, I'm not dragging this all along with me? So if you are going through the messiness of healing, you're doing it right. Allow yourself to go through the messiness. It can last a long time. But getting into another relationship is not the sign that, oh, they're all better. They did it. What? That's just you taking all your problems and all your mess, getting into something new and saying, here, you're going to deal with this with me now. So don't feel like just because someone got off to the races and is in something new immediately that you're doing it wrong. Healing looks like messiness. It looks like alone time. It looks like learning to stand on your own 2 feet, figuring yourself out. Allow yourself the time to figure yourself out. Do not feel like the measure of healing is the next relationship. It's not. It's just not.
She wants you to do well, but not better than she does. When she sees you thriving, she's forced to realize the mistake was hers. Think about it. Your life is more organized. You're in better shape. You have a new partner. You look refreshed and happy. You're making more money, while she's dealing with more responsibilities, less income, and having to support herself. And you're no longer carrying the share of the burden you used to, because you're building a life in a different home. Now look at it from another angle. Yes, you're alone. But once you settle into your new reality, you start setting goals for yourself, your physique, your finances, your friendships. You find a new sense of purpose. You realize you have fewer responsibilities, so you channel that energy into improving yourself, and your life starts getting better much faster. You earn more because you land a better job. You have less pressure, more free time. That's one of the strengths of being a man, our ability to adapt. That's why, over time, you start progressing even faster. And the best part is that there's no one beside you constantly complaining and tearing down your self-esteem.
Women.
He's not winning. Oh, but he's laughing and having the best time and going on dates and out with his friends. He's not winning. Oh, but I'm sitting here crying and feeling it all and picking up all the pieces. He's not winning. Oh, we were married and we had children and we built a life and a home, and now he's acting like none of it mattered. He's not winning. But I'm at home trying to look after the home, look after my kids, look after myself, and I can't do it. He's not winning. You can't put a price on a clear conscience. You don't know how you're going to get through this because you're healing properly. You're struggling to process it because you're meant to struggle to process it. It's not normal. It's not normal to get up and just abandon someone out of nowhere and then behave like none of it existed. You're meant to struggle. You're meant to wade through those emotions like you're walking through mud. It's going to feel heavy. You're going to resist. It's going to take over you at times. But every emotion that comes up for you, that you're willing to feel, inevitably, in the long term, you're letting it go. Whatever you're wrestling with, that you reflect on, you're making peace with it. Whatever you're struggling with, you're not distracting yourself with meaningless things. You're the one doing better. The tears, the screaming, the pain, the emptiness, the nights when you can't even sleep. You're the one doing better. He has his running shoes on. He's running from it all because he's terrified. Who's stronger? He's getting blind drunk at every opportunity while you consciously sit with it all. Who's stronger? He's in someone's bed while you're on the floor wondering if you're going to break so hard that finally the pieces just aren't going to come back together. And then you get up the next day and do it all again. Who's stronger? When you're working out and you're trying to build muscle, that tears. It hurts. There's pain. And then you come out stronger. You don't get strong emotionally until you're ready to lift the weight. And when time passes and you start to feel better, and you will, you'll have processed. You'll have developed resilience. You will be stronger than you ever thought was possible. You'll have learned that your ceiling for capacity is so much higher than you ever gave yourself credit for. And most of all, your conscience will be clear. You didn't compromise the person that you were. You didn't abandon people that you loved. You had responsibility and you stared it straight in the face and you took it seriously. He's still gonna be running on the hamster wheel, round and round, experiencing the same thing with different people, year after year after year. When he stops to look at what he's done, when he stops to look at his life, he's not going to have the clear conscience. The shame he already feels is going to be compounded by more shame and more regret. He is not winning.
That only happens if a man is weak. My father was a man whose greatest lesson to me was the importance of reading, and I always set aside 10 minutes a day to read, especially about Stoicism. One thing I learned is this: get comfortable being alone. I broke up with an ex-girlfriend I had lived with for 2 years. That woman was ruining my life. She was demanding, controlling, and always complaining about something. In the end, we split because I couldn't stand it anymore, and she was already talking to other men behind my back. When she left, of course I felt bad, but I was already used to spending hours by myself. So I made a plan. First, I gave myself something to work toward, because a busy mind doesn't have time to miss anyone. Second, I went completely no contact. No social media, no phone number, no mutual friends, and I stayed away from places where I knew she'd be. For the first 3 months, I poured all that pain into my work and my fitness. After that, I honestly didn't miss her anymore. By the 4th month, I had moved, I looked better, and I got a new haircut. I wasn't rich, so I bought secondhand designer clothes and had them professionally cleaned. I learned new skills and improved the project I was working on. By the 6th month, we've reached the end of the video, but before we go, here are a couple of questions for you. Have you ever ended a relationship and noticed that your life improved much faster once you were on your own? Tell us what changed in your life. Has an ex ever tried to come back after seeing that you were doing well? What did you do? If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to keep creating more content. Stay tuned for the next video from the wall.